To please his new flame, Lucas threw my mother's last gift to me into a lake. I spent 5 hours searching for it in the freezing winter water. Someone asked him if he wasn't afraid I'd be angry. He said casually, "She's just a sycophant. What's there to be afraid of?" I took out my phone and called my mentor. I told her I was willing to go abroad for the project. But why? After I left, did Lucas search for me like a madman? When I received Lucas' message, I had just drunk a large glass of cold medicine and my head was spinning. "Sophia, you have 20 minutes to get here." I propped my head up and replied groggily, "I'm sorry, Lucas. I'm sick. Can I come tomorrow?" As soon as I sent it, his phone call came through. It was his friend on the other end. His voice urgent. "Sophia, you have to come quick. Something's happened to Lucas." My mind went blank, then snapped into focus. "Give me the address. I'm on my way." I threw on a coat in a panic, not even bothering to change out of my pajamas, and rushed out the door. When I arrived, the scene before me left me momentarily stunned. Lucas was standing perfectly fine by an artificial lake, a girl with tears in her eyes beside him, whimpering something I couldn't hear. Seeing me, he waved impatiently. "Sophia, what are you standing there for? Get over here." He gently stroked the girl's head. "See, there's nothing between Sophia and me. Look at her. How could I possibly like someone like that?" The girl looked up at me and giggled. "Lucas, you're terrible." I looked down at myself. A down jacket over my pajamas, making me look like a swollen bear. My hair was a mess. My face flushed from the fever. And I still had 2 wads of tissue stuck up my nose. I was a sight. I quickly pulled the tissues out, hid them behind my back, and took a few steps back, wishing the ground would swallow me whole. Lucas didn't even glance at me, just waved again. "My girlfriend is smiling now. You can go." I took a deep breath, nodded, and turned to leave. I finally understood why he had called me here. It was just to prove to his new flame that there was nothing between us. The girl spoke again, her voice muffled. "Lucas, why is she so obedient to you?" Before he could answer, his friend chimed in. "Oh, Sophia is Lucas' sycophant. It's nothing. There's nothing going on between them." I looked at the street light ahead. It was so bright it made my eyes water. I quickened my pace, wanting to get away from this place. I don't know what the girl thought of next, but she burst into tears. "You're all lying to me, right? You're all lying. Putting on a show." Lucas, at a loss, tried to comfort her. "Luna, why are you crying? Ask my friends. Have I told a single lie?" Then he turned and yelled at me. "Sophia, get back here." I closed my eyes and stood still. Perhaps it was the fever, but my heart ached with a dull, heavy pain. "I'll count to 3. Are you coming or not?" He had only just said 1 when I turned back. Against my will, he made me explain to his new girlfriend that there was nothing between us. He made me apologize to her. I did whatever he said. My head was spinning, and the cold wind kept blowing, making me shiver. "Lucas, can I go now? My head really hurts. I still have a fever." Only then did he deign to look at me. His eyes filled with undisguised disgust. "You came out dressed like this. You couldn't even tidy up a bit." I was about to explain that it was because his friend had said he was in trouble, that I hadn't had time, but he just waved his hand dismissively. "Go. Don't embarrass me here." I had barely taken 2 steps when his girlfriend spoke again. Her voice choked with tears. I had already developed a reflexive fear of her voice. "Lucas, you're really not lying to me, are you? But why is the necklace you're wearing the same as hers? Is it a matching set?" Both Lucas and I froze. I belatedly realized that the necklace my mother had left me had fallen out of my pajamas. It must have come out when I was running. I quickly tucked it back in. "Luna, this was a gift from my mother. It's not a matching necklace." Luna burst into tears again, sitting on the ground and wiping her eyes. "A gift from your mother. You'd even make up something like that to lie to me. Even if it's true, it's not Lucas' mother. So why are you wearing it? It's clearly a matching set." I stood there, at a loss, trying to explain. Lucas and his friends all gathered around her, trying to comfort her. My head was throbbing. I couldn't take it anymore and shouted, "Enough. Just give me back the necklace." "All right." Lucas sighed and took off the necklace, about to hand it to me. But Luna wasn't having it. "No. What if you secretly give it back to him later? Can't you just tell the truth? Even if you used to be together. I can accept it." Sob, sob, sob. Lucas rubbed his head. What do you want me to do? Throw it away. Throw it away. Sob, sob, sob. I don't want to see it. My heart stopped, my limbs turning to ice. I rushed over and grabbed his hand. Don't throw it away, please. Just give it back to me. Lucas, you know, this is my mother's. Lucas pulled his hand away and said nothing. His lips pressed into a thin line. He held Luna and said softly, Luna, I'll give this necklace back to Sophia. I swear, I will never wear it again. Luna shot up and pointed at the necklace, screaming, You clearly like Sophia, don't you? Why won't you admit it? If you don't like her, why are you wearing her mother's necklace? Sophia has been by your side for over 10 years. Even a dog would have feelings. Do you dare to swear you have no romantic feelings for her at all? Lucas' face darkened. He hated it when people said he liked me. Without any warning, he suddenly raised his hand. The necklace flew through the air in an arc and, with a plop, landed in the artificial lake. Lucas looked at his empty palm and said in a low voice, Is that enough? I have no feelings for Sophia. I stared at the lake, my heart shattering. It was as if something inside me had broken. Lucas walked past me and whispered, Don't blame me, Sophia. I'll have someone retrieve it in a while. In a while. How long? When Luna has calmed down. Otherwise, she'll keep bringing it up. 2 weeks at most. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. A strange strength filled me. I grabbed his collar and screamed, Lucas, you're a bastard. It's made of wood. It will be ruined in 2 weeks. You bastard. Lucas was about to say something, but Luna came over and pushed me away. Don't yell at Lucas. If you're going to yell at someone, yell at me. Don't be angry anymore. Lucas, I'm hungry. Let's go get hot pot. It's the perfect weather for it. His friends chimed in. Lucas' voice was cold. That's enough. Sophia, if you keep this up, I'm really going to get angry. He took Luna's hand and walked away. If you want hot pot, then keep up. The only answer he got was the sound of a splash. I had taken off my down jacket and jumped into the lake. It wasn't too deep, only up to my chest. Lucas stood on the shore, watching me for a long time, then turned and left. His friend asked him, Lucas, are we really just going to leave her? It's freezing. Lucas sneered. Isn't this what Sophia loves to do? Play the martyr. Let her. Lucas, I feel like you've really gone too far this time. Sophia is going to be angry. He paused for a moment, his voice light. She's been fawning over me for so many years. How could she be angry? Luna's voice was weak. Was it really her mother's last gift? Oh, I'm such an idiot. How could I make such a mistake? Then she shouted towards me. Sophia, it was my fault. Don't be angry. And don't blame Lucas. Okay, let's go. Honey, she'll come out when she gets cold. Their words reached me. Cold and distant, but not as cold as the lake water. Not as cold as my heart. I don't know how long I searched. I only know that my body went numb, and my head felt like it was about to explode with pain. I couldn't tell if the wetness on my face was lake water or tears. The bottom of the lake was full of rocks and trash. My fingers were scraped and raw. Finally, just as I was about to give up, I felt the necklace. The words my mother had written on it were already blurred. I kept rubbing it on my down jacket, trying to wipe the water away. But I was rubbing away my mother's words. As the writing faded, something inside me faded with it. I couldn't hold it in anymore and burst into tears. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Lucas, you're a bastard. I'm really starting to hate you. I carefully put the necklace back on and slowly walked back, clutching my jacket. My legs were weak, as if I were walking on cotton. My body was alternating between chills and fever. My ears were buzzing, and my head was swimming, as if the entire lake was sloshing around inside. It hurt so much. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground. Strangely, it didn't hurt at all. I looked up at the sky. The clouds were in pieces, and they were glowing. Maybe I was dying. It would be good to die like this. My eyelids grew heavier, and I closed them. In a daze, I seemed to go back 10 years. My mother, struggling to sit up in her hospital bed. The setting sun dyeing the sheets a fiery red. She had solemnly placed the necklace in both our hands, telling us to live well, to learn to take care of ourselves without her. Lucas had taken my hand and sworn to her, Aunt Lon, don't worry. I will take good care of Sophia for you. Lucas was my mother's best friend's son. After his parents died in an accident, my mother had taken him in. To me, he was family, and a person I had secretly loved. I had always been insecure and weak, and he was the one who pulled me out of the abyss. But I don't know why. After he became successful, he started to distance himself from me. Whenever someone joked that he liked me, he would fly into a rage. I remember a few years ago, someone said he would marry me one day. It was the first time I had ever seen him so angry. He had beaten the man so badly, he ended up in the hospital. After that, no one ever joked about us again. I became his one-sided admirer. I thought, as long as I could be by his side, it would be enough. As long as I had him. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital. The smell of disinfectant stung my nose, and my head throbbed with a dull ache. The nurse beside me, seeing I was awake, was a little angry. Jumping into a lake in this weather. Do you have a death wish? If a passerby hadn't called for an ambulance, you would be dead. Do you know that? She went on and on, then brought me a cup of hot water. You're so young. There's nothing you can't get through. You have a long, happy life ahead of you. I looked out at the setting sun and nodded. Yes, I had a long, happy life ahead of me. It's just that the sun was so bright. It made my eyes water. Wait, the setting sun. I had been in the hospital for a whole day. I opened my phone. There was only one message from Lucas. Sophia, I said I would help you get the necklace. What's with the act? I'm giving you one chance to call and apologize. Otherwise, don't contact me again. The old me would have immediately sent a long, apologetic message. Now, I just sneered and blocked him. It was all so meaningless. I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. Finally, I made up my mind and called my mentor. I should live for myself for once. For the past 10 years, my life had revolved around him. If he said east, I would never go west. I had eaten instant noodles with him, lived in a leaky rental apartment. I had drunk until I threw up blood to help him sign a contract. I had watched him cry like a child, holding my hand and vowing to marry me. Thinking back, it was all so laughable. Professor Wang answered quickly. Sophia, what's wrong? You should just come with me abroad. Professor Wang, I've decided. I'll go with you for the project. A year ago, she had wanted me to go abroad with her for a project. She valued my professional skills. I knew I would have better opportunities abroad. But for Lucas, I had refused her countless times. She was stunned for a moment, then stammered a lot. Finally, we set a date. 5 days from now. All right, I'll wait for you then. Sophia, where are you going? I jumped, turning to see Lucas standing silently behind me, his face as dark as a thundercloud. I made up an excuse, saying I was going on a trip to clear my head. He just grunted. A trip would do you good. Luna won't have to be annoyed by the sight of you. I curled my fingers, saying nothing. He glanced at me. You're a grown woman. How could you let yourself get into such a state? Are you better now? Yes, I'm better. He was a little displeased and studied my face for a long moment. I didn't know why he was unhappy, probably because I wasn't thrilled by his concern. He played with the bracelet on his wrist. Did you find Aunt Lan's necklace? I suppressed the urge to touch my neck. My voice was hoarse. No. He sneered. Look at you. So useless. You jump into a lake, end up in the hospital, and you still didn't find the necklace. Stop with the drama. I gripped the bedsheet, my knuckles white. I wanted to ask him, what do you mean by that? Do you have any respect for my mother? Did you feel any regret when you threw away the necklace? My mother raised you for over 10 years. Are you that heartless? But the words got stuck in my throat. It was all just bitterness. What was the point of saying anything? The air in the room grew heavy. Lucas seemed to have had enough. He stood up abruptly. All right. I have to go see Luna. The day after tomorrow is Aunt Lan's death anniversary. Let's go and see her together. I looked up and said softly, okay. He turned to leave, and without looking back, said, unblock me. I'll forgive you for blocking me this once, but there won't be a next time. Understand? Back home, I took out my mother's photo frame and wiped it over and over, murmuring to her, Mom, I don't want to love him anymore. I went back to my room to pack. I realized so many of my things had traces of him. Among them was his diary. The feelings of his youth were written on every page. My throat felt dry. I should probably give this back to him. I unblocked him and sent a message. Let's meet. I have something to give back to you. An hour later, he replied with an address. It was a restaurant. My old favorite. Lucas sat casually, looking at the menu. The sunlight traced the line of his jaw. He was as handsome as ever. I touched my heart. Strange. It used to race whenever I saw him. Today, it was surprisingly calm. He looked up. Sit. I ordered all your favorites. Seeing I was silent, he added. Luna is going out of town to study in a couple of days. I'll have someone search the lake for the necklace then. Don't worry. Aunt Lon was like a mother to me. I would never let her last gift be lost. I put a piece of meat in my mouth and said calmly, You really treat this Luna differently. The room fell silent. Only the sizzling of the food could be heard. After a long moment, Lucas spoke. Luna is different from other girls. Sophia, you are my family. No matter who else is in my life, you will always be different. I just said, oh, and didn't take it to heart. The old me would have been so happy with those words. I wouldn't have been able to sleep for a week. Now, I was more interested in the food. The owner and the chef were the same. And the menu is the same. Why didn't it taste as good as I remembered? I used to think this little restaurant had the best food in the world. The first time I came here, it was with him. He had just earned his first big paycheck. Now, it was just average. The taste, the dishes, all just average. Not even as good as the little diner downstairs from our apartment. After a few bites, I put down my chopsticks and took the notebook from my bag. This is for you. He flipped through it, his eyes mocking. Sophia, what's this? Are you using this notebook to force me to marry you? These are just things I wrote when I was a kid. They don't mean anything. He tossed it on the table. I was taken aback for a moment. Then I understood. The first page of the notebook said, Lucas must marry Sophia. And I was his devoted admirer. It was only logical for him to think that. That's not what I mean. I just wanted to give your things back to you. He looked at me with a half smile. Sophia, your intentions are clear to everyone. If you're going to make an excuse, at least make a good one. You give it back to me now. Of all times. Right after I said Luna is different from other women, he put down his chopsticks and leaned back. His arms crossed, a playful look in his eyes. Let me guess what you're thinking. You think all the women in my life are just passing through, and you're the only one who will stay by my side, right? You think I'm just playing around with them and will eventually come back to you. You're giving me this notebook to remind me that you're the one I should marry in the end. He raised an eyebrow, as if to say, am I right? I was sometimes amazed by his imagination, and I felt so tired. I didn't even want to explain. I shouldn't have brought the notebook. I should have just thrown it in the trash. Think whatever you want. I've given it back to you. I grabbed my bag and was about to leave. He sneered. There you go again with the act. All right, this diary is useless to me. Luna will get jealous if she sees it. You take it back. I shook my head. I don't want it. His eyes narrowed. He was angry again. He tore the notebook in half in a fit of pique and threw it in the trash. Fine. If you don't want it, then it's gone. He looked at me, his voice slow. Is that enough? I nodded. Yes. Seeing my attitude, he slammed his chopsticks down in anger. Sophia, you're really something. Don't come crying to me for this notebook later. I didn't understand what he was so angry about, but I didn't want to understand either. Back in my apartment, I finished packing and terminated the lease. The day after tomorrow, I could leave this place. I took my luggage and went back to my mother's old house. It had been a long time, and the house was covered in a thick layer of dust. I cleaned it thoroughly. By the time I was done, it was dark. I was going abroad. There was no need to keep this old house. I had been reluctant to sell it because it held memories of my family, mine, my mother's, and his. I listed it with an agent. I would come back to handle the paperwork when it was sold. The next day was my mother's death anniversary. I had promised to go with him to see her. I sent him a message. I'm here. When are you coming? The only response was a big red exclamation mark. He had blocked me. I checked his social media. His friend had posted a new update. Lucas and my sister-in-law must be happy. The picture was of the two of them, holding hands at an amusement park. So he had taken her to an amusement park to make her happy. I sneered. He had said he thought of my mother as his own. Yet he had forgotten the 10th anniversary of her death. But it didn't matter. My mother. I would keep her company myself. I sat by her grave all day, crying, as if pouring out all the grievances of the past few years. It was late at night when I finally left. Reluctantly. Mom, I will live a good life abroad. I opened my phone. Not a single message. His friend's post was still there. A picture of them kissing under the fireworks. So meaningless. The next day, I dragged my luggage to the airport. Professor Wang was already waiting. She gave me a big hug, her eyes a little red. Sophia, I've finally got you. Your boyfriend. Have you let him go? I have to tell you, this project could take 5 years, maybe even 10, for your relationship. I cut her off with a smile. Professor Wang, he's not my boyfriend. There's nothing between us. Don't worry, it won't be a problem. She understood and said no more. Just as we were about to board, I got a call from him. He sounded groggy, as if he had just woken up. Sorry, Sophia. I had too much fun yesterday and forgot. Shall we go and see Aunt Lon today? 1 day late is no big deal. I took a deep breath. No need. I already saw my mother yesterday. 1 day late is still late. I hung up and turned off my phone. I followed Professor Wang onto the plane. After a few hours, we landed. It was already evening. I turned on my phone to a scolding from him. Sophia, you're so petty. 1 day late. Aunt Lon wouldn't have minded. But you're holding it against me. I've spoiled you too much these past few days. Don't contact me for a while. You think about what you've done. I blocked him without a second thought. My heart calm. Life in the lab was busy. I woke up and did experiments. A month later, I got a call from the real estate agent. The house was sold. I needed to go back to handle the paperwork. I asked Professor Wang for a few days off. On the same day, I got a call from him. Seeing his number, I was in a daze. A month had passed. I hadn't thought of him at all. I answered the phone. His roar came through. Sophia, this playing hard to get thing isn't going to work on me. Is there something you need? My calm tone seemed to have thrown him off. If not, I'm hanging up. Wait, do you think I wanted to call you? It's Luna's birthday today. I'm inviting you so you two can officially meet. What happened before was just a misunderstanding. You don't need to hold a grudge against her. I asked abruptly. Did you find my mother's last gift? He was silent. I had people search for 2 days. It's not at the bottom of the lake. Then there's nothing to talk about. I'm not going. Of course he couldn't find it. My mother's necklace was safe with me. He was not worthy. I went straight to the agent's office after I landed. Coincidentally, my hotel was the same place they were having the birthday party. As I got out of the elevator, I ran into them. They were holding hands, being affectionate. Seeing me, Luna covered her mouth in surprise and playfully hit him. Lucas, you lied to me. You said she wasn't coming. But here she is. He looked me up and down, his tone mocking. Weren't you not coming? Did you sneak in? His friend chimed in. Lucas, wasn't I right? Sophia is your sycophant. She'll definitely come. Even if you don't contact her for a month. She'll come running with her tail between her legs with just a wave of your hand. Luna walked up to me and extended her hand. My name is Luna, Lucas' girlfriend. It's nice to meet you. Let's just forget about what happened before. But a girl should have some self-respect. You shouldn't just be a sycophant for someone else's boyfriend. I slapped her hand away and bumped her shoulder. She stumbled and fell. I looked down at her. Don't try your manipulative tricks on me. And I have no interest in getting to know you or what's going on with you and your man. Lucas, control your girlfriend. I don't want you. I pressed the elevator button and turned to meet his pale face. As the doors closed, I heard him shout, Sophia, apologize to me. I won't blame you. If you dare to leave this hotel today, don't blame me for being ruthless. His voice held a hint of panic. This hotel was bad luck. I checked out and moved to the one next door. In the middle of the night, my phone was bombarded with messages and calls from him. I didn't even bother to read them and just deleted them all. So noisy. I'll get a new number tomorrow. The next day, I threw away the old SIM card, spent the morning with my mother at her grave, and then flew back to the lab. Back in the lab, I put everything behind me. There was nothing left in that country to hold me back. I threw myself into my work. Over the next 2 years, I heard snippets of gossip from my colleagues that a certain CEO had gone mad overnight. He had drained the artificial lake on the main street and spent a day and a night searching for something in the mud. Soon after, he was looking for his childhood sweetheart everywhere, even making a public announcement in the media. If she didn't come back, he would get married. A lot of people online praised his devotion and left messages everywhere, asking her to come back. Soon, they had figured out who I was. One day, a colleague came to me with her phone. "Sophia, is this you in the news?" I glanced at it and nodded. Yes. Her gossip-loving heart ignited, and she grabbed my hand, eager for details. I sighed and quickly told her the story. She spat to the side. Bah, that scumbag is still pretending to be so devoted. Sophia, don't you dare go soft on him. I smiled. I'm over it. The matter was quickly forgotten. No matter how much drama was happening back home, it couldn't affect me. The netizens' excitement died down, and my colleagues rarely mentioned him in front of me. He completely faded from my life. A year later, I was leaving the lab late at night when I saw a familiar figure in the darkness. It was Lucas. He had found me. He straightened up when he saw me and hesitantly walked over. 2 years. And he had lost so much weight. He was unshaven and looked completely exhausted. His eyes lit up when he saw me, and he nervously straightened his clothes. "Is there something you need?" My voice was flat, devoid of any emotion. He gave me a fawning smile. "Nothing. I just missed you. Sophia, will you come back with me?" I finally know my own heart. He reached out to take my hand. "Lucas, don't be pathetic." His hand froze in midair. "Sophia, don't be like this." Then, as if remembering something, he took a necklace from his bag. It was identical to the one my mother had left me. He held it reverently and offered it to me. "Sophia, I was wrong. Please forgive me." I found Aunt Lan's necklace. I held it up to the moonlight. Yes, it was a very good replica. Even the writing was the same as my mother's. He had clearly put a lot of effort into this fake. But a fake is a fake. I tossed it aside. It landed in a nearby drain. Lucas was shocked. "Sophia, what are you doing?" "That's Aunt Lan's last gift." I gave him a mocking smile and took the real necklace from under my shirt. "Lucas, you're so pathetic. When you can't find it, you make a fake. Are you even human?" "My mother's necklace is safe with me." His eyes darted away. "Since you found it, why didn't you tell me?" "It was Aunt Lan's gift to me." His voice trailed off, lacking any conviction. I sneered. "Are you worthy? Don't come looking for me again. We're over. By the way, I hear you're marrying Luna. Congratulations." He looked like a deflated balloon. His shoulders slumped. I turned and left, then told the security guard to throw him out if he saw him again. He was a madman. For the next month, I would see him every night when I went back to my dorm. He would stand at a distance, just watching me go, never taking a step closer. Later, Luna came to find me once. After 2 years, she had lost all her former glamour. She was like a shrew, screaming and yelling, demanding to see me, calling me a shameless homewrecker. The security guards had to drag her away. After that, he never appeared again. A colleague spat. "That dog of a man is finally gone. Belated devotion is cheaper than grass." "What's with the act? It's disgusting to watch." I nodded. "It is disgusting." She grabbed a handful of sunflower seeds. "That Luna is no good either." The way she was fighting. A few security guards couldn't even hold her back. I bet their married life will be interesting. Another 3 years passed. The project was a success. And as a researcher, I returned to the country for a seminar. At the banquet, I felt an intense, longing gaze on me. I looked over. It was Lucas. He had lost a lot of weight and looked much older. Even older than the last time I had seen him. Only 3 years. And it was as if he had aged a decade. After the banquet, he ran over to me. He straightened his wrinkled suit, reached out to touch me, but then hesitated and pulled his hand back, rubbing it on his trousers. He opened his mouth several times before finally saying, "Sophia, you've changed so much." Luna rushed over and grabbed his arm, pointing at me and screaming, "You homewrecker, are you trying to seduce my husband again? Everyone, come and look. This is Lucas' mistress." He covered her mouth, his face embarrassed. He apologized to me while trying to drag her away, but Luna wouldn't give up, screaming like a madwoman. Did she think I was the same as before? This was my project's banquet. I wouldn't tolerate her nonsense. I waved my hand. A dozen security guards quickly appeared and escorted them out. What a disgrace. A week later, I ran into him downstairs from my company. "Sophia, can we talk?" "About what?" "The project." I'm sorry. Your company doesn't meet our requirements. This wasn't revenge. It was a fact. His company had been in a steep decline for the past few years. And 2 years ago, it had been attacked by two rivals. Now it was on the verge of collapse. He pursed his lips. About us. There's nothing to talk about. He tried to follow me, but the security guard stopped him. He just stood there, motionless. For a moment, it was as if I saw the young Lucas who had just come to our home, standing downstairs with red-rimmed eyes. Then I looked again, and there was nothing. A month later, we chose a partner. It was a large, powerful company, capable of helping us break into the domestic market. My colleagues and I had to tie up some loose ends. And then we would be going abroad again. The project still had follow-up work. I never expected to run into Luna on the day I was leaving. She blocked our car, screaming that I was heartless. She banged on the car door, yelling that the project should have been given to his family. Don't you know what state their family is in? They need this project to recover. I glanced at her coldly. What does that have to do with me? Her lips trembled. If you had given it to them, Lucas would have forgiven you. Oh, so noisy. The security guards pulled her away, and the car started. My colleague was amazed. My God, does she think we're idiots? If we gave this project to them, we'd be bankrupt in 2 months. Their company is just an empty shell. You should tell that scumbag to go and get his head checked. I stuffed a snack into her mouth. Just eat. 2 years later, the project was a success. The domestic market was developing well. Our team returned to manage the domestic projects. Downstairs from the company, I saw some familiar faces. It was Lucas and Luna. They were holding a crying child. The child was wailing. Luna grabbed a nearby branch and started hitting him. Lucas was leaning against a wall, smoking, as if the woman and child had nothing to do with him. A colleague gave me the gossip. His company had gone bankrupt, and he was deeply in debt. They had fallen from grace. To pay off the debts, they had sold their car and their house. They were now living in a rental apartment. He believed that if he had built his company once, he could do it again. He was too proud to get a regular job and was just waiting for another opportunity. To find that opportunity, he had started gambling. The scene before us was him trying to get money from her for gambling. She was furious. She couldn't beat him, so she was beating the child. I shook my head. Once a person gets into gambling, it's over. 6 months later, I heard news of him again. He had gambled too much and was in a hole he couldn't get out of. The loan sharks had come to his house. He had offered to give them Luna to settle the debt. They had agreed, but she refused. She had grabbed a knife from the kitchen and stabbed them. He had died on the spot. The loan sharks were seriously injured. She was arrested. Their child was sent to her parents' house. My hand trembled, and a couple of drops of water spilled. To have come to this, it was his own karma. Lucas,